Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and get more exciting videos to prepare you for the end times and the demonic tricks of the devil. Once you click the red bell icon and you subscribed, please click the bell icon behind to keep updated with our monthly videos. We appreciate your support. Ladies and gentlemen, in the Bible, in the book of Revelation 16:14 the Bible says, "For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty." This means amazing miracles, with such great and amazing things like floating off the earth, bringing back animals to life and even making the dead breathe and speak again. This will be the demonic tricks, and most of them will be satanic demon magic that is totally against God. Do not be fooled, the devil have amazing powers and can do almost anything God can do, except having almighty destructive powers and making real vivid life. But, no human being can destroy him, and he can destroy all mankind if God allows him to do so. Please pray hard and not be deceived by the works and miracles of the devil. Please pray for these dear people so that they will turn away from these sinful magic and give their hearts and soul to the gracious and loving God, before time is too late. Thank you for listening. Please now watch our feature presentation called, Demonic Magic and Miracles and False Jesus in the End Times.
Religion is one of the hottest buttons anyone can push, and if you believe in a benevolent deity, then you fit into the most acceptable group out there. But even if you hint at believing in something sinister, then the attention is all on you. Here are 10 famous people who worship the devil. Maybe. Feeling feisty? Hit that subscribe button and be the first to know every time we release a video. Marilyn Manson. This isn't necessarily a huge surprise, since Marilyn Manson is known for being heavily involved in Anton LaVey's Church of Satan. Despite the name, the Church of Satan actually doesn't worship the devil and instead consider themselves to be atheists. Manson is a card-carrying member of the Church of Satan and is even an honorary priest. Based on his music, image, and the messages he displays, it's not shocking that many people think that he is worshiping the devil. Ozzy Osbourne. Based on Ozzy Osbourne's career, it would be hard to believe that he didn't engage in devil worship. Between getting called Prince of Darkness, being a part of the band Black Sabbath, biting the head off a bat, and playing up the image of evil and darkness, poor Ozzy has found himself at the center of a lot of theories. Many of these theories also stem from the numerous references to Satan and Lucifer in Black Sabbath's music, as well as the band's signature look. Lady Gaga. To religious enthusiasts, Lady Gaga can easily come across as someone who worships the devil, considering that she embraces and promotes the opposite of what numerous churches teach. However, after she said, "I swear to Lucifer" on Jimmy Kimmel, rumors went rampant, accusing the singer of worshipping the devil. Granted, the comment was said sarcastically, but the public is left to wonder and assume the worst. She was also accused of participating in a satanic ritual after she left a bathtub full of blood at London's Intercontinental Hotel. Robert Johnson. Born in 1911, Robert Johnson is probably one of the most well-known musicians who is tied to the devil. He claimed that he went to the crossroads and made a deal with Satan himself to become the best blues guitarist in the world. People who saw Johnson play before the deal and after the deal said there was a dramatic difference in the way he played. Johnson died at the age of 27 from mysterious circumstances, which furthers the theory that a deal was made and that his contract was fulfilled. Rihanna. Rihanna was signed on to Def Jam Records by Jay-Z at the age of 16, and she has been dubbed the Princess of the Illuminati. Considering her dark image and because the lyrics to her song Disturbia describe demonic possession, people have assumed that Rihanna worships the devil. After the release of her song Russian Roulette and the fact that it was glamorizing suicide, Rihanna got numerous accusations of working for Satan and trying to influence young people to take their lives as sacrifices to the devil. Jane Mansfield. Jane Mansfield is one of the most famous alleged members of the Church of Satan, who met Anton LaVey a few times and even participated in a photo shoot with the Satanist leader. Rumor has it that Jane originally wanted to be Catholic but was rejected by the Vatican for her previous marriages, so she made a deal with the devil to become famous. Her boyfriend Sam Brody allegedly insulted LaVey, and a hex was placed on him that would guarantee that he'd be dead within a year, and rumor has it that Jane was also a victim of the hex. Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is often nicknamed Satan and has become famous for pushing the envelope in her songs and performances. There is satanic imagery in her look, and she even has an alter ego named Roman Zolanski, which is an homage to the infamous movie producer Roman Polanski, the husband of murdered actress Sharon Tate. Minaj said that Roman was a violent male alter ego that was conjured up and will not go away. During her 2012 Grammys performance, Nicki had a mock exorcism which featured sex slaves and was accused of performing a satanic ritual. King Diamond. King Diamond is a heavy metal musician who is a member of the Church of Satan. He doesn't necessarily see it as a religion, but more as a philosophy of living by Anton LaVey. However, on stage and in performance, King Diamond takes on a satanic look that can make any naive audience member believe that he engages in devil worship. In 1988, the musician was made an eternal member of the church by LaVey himself. Liberace. Liberace was no doubt probably one of the flashiest members of the Church of Satan. The musician was one of the first members of the church and even credits his involvement in the organization for his success in the industry. Liberace and Anton LaVey were also good friends. Kenneth Anger. Filmmaker Kenneth Anger has a weird fascination with Satan, as he has a Lucifer tattoo across his chest. Today, he is a practitioner of paganism, not necessarily devil worship. Anger was also friends with LaVey before he started the Church of Satan. He also studied Aleister Crowley, who was well known as an authority on the occult. Not to mention, Anger has also made a short film called Lucifer Rising.
Still out here doing these songs, you're still on tour.
I do, but I don't take it for granted.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my hand.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And in this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
If your ultimate goal is to be famous, then you're gonna do a lot to get there. Like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil. Like you're gonna end up on a one-way street, and it's going nowhere. Like that's just the truth. I've seen so many people forsake their moral code and their value system just for a little bit of fame, and it's not worth it at the end of the day. It's really not worth it.
I got him away from this witch that he had with him. He told her to go shopping. We were in West Hollywood, and I was witnessing around some people I knew. We went off in this store, and we started talking. I said, David, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. I said, I already know the answers, but I've been gone for 5 years. I'd like to know if certain things are still the way they were when I left.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Used to came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
Now, I'll have to explain some of this when I'm done, because you're not going to understand it all unless you know something about music. I said, do they still take the master to the temple room? Dave said, yeah. I said, do they still have the Colvin conjure demons into the master? He said, of course.
Masterpiece is right in there. All we have to do is step into that magic circle and the masterpiece is ours. Are you ready?
I kind of sang about, what was going on in my life at 15 and That's how I got introduced to the music industry. I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music. Yeah. But it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
Anywho, so yeah, I was going to school to be a vet tech, and I was into my studies, getting good grades, and you know what screwed it all up? Was this one guy, he broke my heart, and I was like, cool, thanks. I was like, now I have to do something pretty ridiculous and insane with my life, so why not sell my soul and go on Jersey Shore? That's what I did. And you know what? It's been awesome.
Roman is a crazy boy who lives in me, and he says the things that I don't want to say. He was born, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage. So he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people, and he's violent.
It must be nice to have like an ignorant loudmouth who you can just sort of blame every...
He wants to be blamed. I don't want to blame him. I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave. I don't want to blame him. I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
Hip-hop goes goth. Keeps going goth.
Because if you spend all your time wanting fame and fortune and money and power and position, eventually you're going to run into this wall, this brick wall of the brotherhood, where you either join or give up all your dreams of being rich and famous. Because they control everything. They control the media. You won't get 5 minutes of media time as a celebrity if you're not one of them. And so these celebrities will go to these Hollywood underground parties, have sex with 1 million old men, pedophiles that are there, the agents and the handlers that control Hollywood, control the stars, eating feces, drinking urine, having illicit sex with these old men. You give up everything and become an abomination just for fame and fortune. And we call them the elite. Elite what? Poop eaters?
Oh no, you gotta come in hard. That's why that guy Trayvion's dad, he sacrificed his son. Now, some of y'all don't understand that. And the reason it made so much headlines because he was a Freemasonry, and he's a part of that brotherhood. And he's going to get all the attention in the world. So all the brotherhoods wants to see him. This is his time to shine. So all the brotherhoods get to say, who's this guy getting ready to come up in the lodge? What better way to promote him than him offering his son? And they already know what it was. Oh, okay, this is it. Oh, he's going to be coming up pretty soon. So they don't have to announce it to the public. But whatever field he was in or wherever he's working, they're going to take him under their thumb. He's going to rise up. He's going to be of wealth. It's a reason for everything. And that guy sacrificed his son, man. That's why I don't speak on it a lot, because we know that's a sacrifice. Zimmerman is just playing the part. Pretty soon this thing going to be over and done with. You never hear about him again. As I said before, there's levels of rituals, okay? The more wealth that you have, the more rituals of sacrifices you're going to be asked to do. 98% of hip-hop is gay. There's no other way to say it. 98% of them are gay. 2% of them got out. That's not many, because the majority of them love that lifestyle, okay? All actors and actresses sleep with the same sex for roles, contracts, commercials, sitcoms, and that's the truth. Whenever you see an actor or actress and you see all these commercials they putting out, and every time you look up you're in some type of movie, that comes at a price, man. They don't do this stuff. People say, well, that's just a talent. See, that's a young man talking. He's a dumbass. He ain't been nowhere. The industry does nothing for free, y'all. Once you are in, they prefer you not to hang around nobody you know. Why? Because people that's not in the industry can see BS. They can see demonic things happening. They don't want you around folks like that because they can influence you to get out or not participate. So usually they pick your girlfriends, they pick your boyfriends. Why? See, you never can understand. You got all that kind of money, and you can date about anybody. I mean, half the time I go to the mall, make them celebrity women look sad. But why come they don't want those celebrities messing with anybody in the mall? Because those women in the mall are regular people. Some of them people believe in the Lord, and they read their Bible on a regular. So that means they got light in them. They can't have that. So when you get ready to date somebody, they prefer you to date someone in the industry because they wicked. You see, they got to keep you wicked. So it's no wonder that Kanye West loved Kim Kardashian, because she's a wicked one. She'd have been passed around like a baton. So now y'all understand why they, Kim Kardashian quit somebody else pick her back up. But who in the hell want to sleep with somebody in them bust? I mean, this girl done had more nuts than Planters peanuts. You hear what I'm saying? And they can't wait to date her. They can't wait to get with her. Man, come on. It's just, come on. They want you to have somebody in the industry because y'all all demonic and under spell.
I'm going to read the names I was given. And these are people, folks, that we see every day. And you never realized, behind closed doors, he's a worshiping Satan freak. He's eating poop and having sex with animals and demons. And they all have herpes, folks. Almost all of them have herpes. It's a given when you're a Satanist. So this weekend involved with donkey rituals, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Rabbi Shmuley, however you say his name, the co-founders of Google, the guy who started Beanie Babies, Derrick Rose, co-owner of Chicago Bulls, or the owner of Chicago Bulls, Mike Quigley, congressman, Senator Dick Durbin and Mark Kirk, William Wrigley, the Wrigley billionaire, Emmanuel Rahm and his wife and brother, Kanye West, Sam Zell, owner of the Cubs, owners of the Blackhawks, the co-founder of Groupon, Valerie Jarrett, NBC News anchors Allison Rosati, ABC's Ron Majors, NBC's Brian Williams, Wyatt Rockefeller, and then you have Hillary and George Soros. You look at these people and you wonder, don't they want out once they get in? How do they get past the feces crap? And I was told that they do enough to stay alive. Look at LeBron James. He was recruited in by his agent and doesn't really want anything to do with it, I've been told, but does enough to stay alive. Shaquille O'Neal, Lady Gaga. Did you see Shaquille O'Neal showing off his ring? Saw a picture of it or YouTube or something. I didn't watch it, but I saw him holding up his masonry ring. He must have went to 33rd degree. When you reach the 33rd degree level, you get a ring, and inscribed on it is your title, which is worthy of worship. Does he really think he's worthy of worship? Would he get sodomized by enough donkeys that got him that title?
You get what I'm saying? So this is the industry, y'all. This is the industry that's going on in America, and most of these guys and girls hate to be alone. And get this, most of them don't have any mirrors in their house. Why is it important not to have mirrors in your house? Because once you have sold your soul, you see images of demons. That's a true fact. Because you don't have any light. The only light you have is Satan. And they hate looking in the mirror. The only time they look in the mirror is when a stylist come over. They don't even comb their hair until the stylist come over. That's how paranoid they are. They hate to be alone so bad. They keep people around them. See, I couldn't understand that way back in the day. Like, why do they have to have so many entourage? Because they're scared out of their wits.
How greedy are you? How bad do you really want it? Because you're going to have to do a lot of vile and disgusting things to be awarded it. You're awarded it. You're allowed to succeed. That's how much Satan controls. If you want to be a network news anchor on one of his media stations, you're going to have to be putting your time into the rituals. Sacrificing babies, adults. That's not once a year, folks. They have to do it constantly because Satan's always demanding more and more and more sacrifices. They huff and puff it until you join, and then you learn the true dark side of evil. How do they get anything done in Washington? You know? Putting all these legislations together to destroy America, but they always have to break away to go do rituals. It's a good thing there's a city right underneath the Capitol because they don't have to go too far. Underground city right underneath the Capitol building. Yeah, they don't go very far, break away and sacrifice a baby on a lunch break. This is the kind of people we're dealing with, folks. And it's all of them. It's not a hand-picked few. Senators and congressmen are elected ahead of time. They're elected ahead of time. They're chosen because they've sacrificed, made some kind of sacrifice that pleased Satan. And they've been doing their rituals and going to the rituals, and they've shown that they can keep quiet, not say anything to anybody, keeping quiet. And so then they're awarded to be elected for a certain year. Okay, you can run in 2012, and let's say they join the Brotherhood in 2008, 2009, and then they're told, okay, you have to do this and this and this, and then you can join in 2012, you can be elected. Voting does not matter, folks. Voting doesn't matter. You know, they sit and they have conference calls. The media networks all have conference calls during all of these political meetings, and they conspire on what they're going to report and announce. They conspire together the whole time these primaries take place. So that way they can put their candidate at the top on all the network stations. It looks like Mitt Romney's winning. Nobody likes Mitt Romney. The Mormons don't even like him. But they like him. Satan liked to sacrifice. And Mitt Romney's afraid to die, so they can control him by fear. And these are the people we look up to. Brad Pitt, those two, Angie and Brad, were doing sacrifices and rituals with the Obamas on Halloween.
Oh, well, I love my mama, too. Well, we're going to send you a letter and answer it within a 24-hour period, and we'll tell you what we can give you. What you mean, a letter, man? Just tell me right here. No. Go home. We're going to send you a letter, and that letter they're going to explain, but it's going to be coded like what they want him to do if he's willing to do this. You see, it's like nursery rhymes, and you're like, what? If I do what? Well, I don't understand the letter. Give us your mama, and we'll put you in the $20 million club. Man, you crazy. And if you're weak, you ain't got the Lord on your side, you sitting at home in that dark room, you tired of eating Roman noodles, you ain't got no running water, electricity out, you buy a candle going, all right, man, she work, downtown, she get off at 6. What I supposed to do? Set it up, have her at home, you catch a plane, go somewhere for a couple of days, and we'll send you a text. All right. A week later, they give them a text. They won't say that she's dead. They'll be like, the party was great. Thanks for showing up. Because it's like coded. They ain't going to just come out and say they killed her, right? He heard on the news she's dead. He breaks down. He goes to his bank account. He got $20 million in his bank account. He slowly forget his mama. Ask Kanye West. That's how he got down. Psalms 37 and 17 again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Before we start, we need one thing. Heidi, do you have your handbag with you?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heidi, please take your handbag and join us on stage. Give Heidi some encouragement. Every time when we perform, people think there must be something in Amelie's ears, like maybe a loudspeaker or something.
So, to verify that there is nothing hidden, check out my ears. If there are like antennas, earphones,
No.
whatever, maybe my left ear.
A little molt, but that's it. Just kidding.
Please inspect this blindfold as well. I can take this for a second. And just make sure there is nothing inside, nothing hidden, no Wi-Fi, flat screens, no? Or hold it against your eyes, just for a second. And just to confirm, can you see anything?
Through it?
Yes.
No.
Perfect. Now come to my right side and look for one or two objects out of your handbag, and it feels like there's a lot of stuff inside. Whatever you like, and place it on my right hand.
Heidi, you already chose something. It's a small object, you can open it. I quite like this shade, it's lipstick.
Okay, that's correct. Yes.
There is a number on it. I quite like this shade, it's lipstick number 602.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
What?
That's amazing.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please look in your pockets, in your handbags, in your wallets, for any objects, any items you brought with you tonight. Make it as difficult as you like. Hold them up, but do not say what it is.
Yes, because that is my job.
Let's start with this.
That feels like a cell phone.
So the color.
It's white.
The brand.
iPhone.
The provider.
There must be AT&T.
AT&T.
Is correct?
Oh, I was right.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause for Amelie. Thank you.
You think that was amazing? Did you just see that?
Simon, can you just have a look? There is like no camera in my sleeves.
No.
Nothing on my jacket, in my hair.
No.
All good?
Yeah.
Look again, any objects, any items.
What about this one? You have something in your hand that there is liquid inside. I think these are kind of drops.
No.
And I'm pretty sure those are eye drops.
That is correct.
That is absolutely correct.
If you have a closer look, there is an expiring date on it.
Oh.
There's an expiration date? Yeah.
They expire. They must be May 2017.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Amelie.
Are you kidding me? That's fantastic.
Oh my God.
Ah! Shit! Oh my God! Oh my God! That is so not cool. Ah! What in the world? Whoa!
And then my girlfriend's no good because she left me standing and the man has no body.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
Leches y todo. Sí.
Ah!
Oh,
¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Es de verdad?
You got me good.
Ah!
Ay, ay, ay.
You're so wrong, dude.
And then my girlfriend's no good because she left me standing and the man has nobody.
So this next act, beware. This girl is scary.
Very scary.
Do you want to play?
There's something in the air. Season 13, America's Got Talent.
Oh my God! That's crazy.
The magic is incredible, but the horror is real.
It's really scary, and I don't like scary things.
That Rihanna girl is freaking me out.
She's always got that creepy doll with her.
Officers found Foster driving erratically in the parking lot. She told them that she was demon-possessed.
21-year-old Kyle Parker is back in jail, accused of slicing his girlfriend with a razor blade, allegedly as a worship to the devil.
Be self-controlled and alert. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking for someone to devour.
According to police, Parker said it was all part of a Wiccan or a satanic ritual. She told police she woke up to him using the razor blade on her calf. Parker told her, "By the way, I sold your soul to the devil."
They are brother and sister, 58-year-old Therese Ann Cook and Paul Cook, 52, accused of subjecting 3 young children to alleged acts of such degradation we cannot describe them in detail. The co-accused include Yanni Cook-Williams, 29, and Clarissa Meredith, 26, her sister, all players at a circus school in the Blue Mountains run by Therese Cook. They are accused of abusing the boys, all under 8, between 2014 and 16. Among the allegations, that victims were forced to drink their own blood and worse. Most of the acts were allegedly committed at the circus school in Katoomba and at the home Therese and Paul Cook shared.
Police will also allege that some of the group carried out sadistic blood rituals, taking blood from those boys and then forcing them to drink it.
No demon can come in and overpower the Holy Spirit. You have to allow Satan to come into your life. Okay, you have to allow him and invite him into your life. The people who have dealt with, whether demons in their homes or whatever else, there tends to be some sort of pattern or some sort of past in dealing with Ouija boards or palm reading or things like that, and it's not coincidence.
Take a look. The questionable image appears to float from left to right and then disappears into the wall. Muhammad's brother was working the store that night.
So that video, it's not a fog, or smoke. I don't believe in this stuff, but...
Ahmed says there were no cars passing by at that moment, so he doesn't think it's smoke. It was dark, so it's hard to make the argument it was a shadow.
The shadow hits the wall from this side, and we have a light direct to this side. So if it's shadow or something, the shadow must disappear with light.
What do you think it is?
It's a spirit of some kind.
Local 8 News with one of those hard-to-believe stories.
Yeah, we were covering a stabbing at the Sun Chase Apartments today on Cedar Bluff when the woman wanted for stabbing her mother
walked up to our reporter and confessed.
The satanic cult in this city has been casting satanic spells on me for 4 days. I'm exhausted. I came home, I found out that my mom was the ringleader and she was trying to kill my daughter.
Nichols tells me she had to act because her mom was putting curses on them.
I had to kill her. She was going to kill both of us. She was so powerful. I had no idea. I had no idea that my mother was that powerful.
Deputies say Nichols' mother was stabbed in the neck, chest, and stomach and was rushed to the hospital for surgery.
When I left, she was still breathing.
Well, that's good.
I stabbed her 3 times and she should have died. She was still breathing, and I don't know what happened to her afterwards, and I don't know where they took her or what exactly happened, but she was the Antichrist. She did not die.
Nichols says afterwards, she and her daughter hid out.
We went in my car and we ended up in a little rural area, and we just waited for the sign that it was safe to come back. She had a symbolic representations of my death, my daughter's death, every nuclear explosion that was supposed to happen that's not going to now. Because all of the satanic cult has been rounded up and killed now.
What's up now? Where is she?
They took her to St. Alexis.
Okay.
Off of the road.
Okay.
They said they could not leave her here the way she was. When I got here, they had the light on her. She was curled up, kind of in a ball on her knees up against the wall at the edge of the bed. That she felt weird. And then on the 3rd floor, we were looking around. She said she had to leave because she felt like she was being choked. She did feel something go into her. It kind of like tickled her leg, like under the cover, and then she said she felt it and she couldn't move for like 2 minutes, and then it left.
Okay, we're at the house right now. This is all the cabinets that were open and found when the police got here.
Adrienne King sees dead people.
I see things through the photos.
See, at first, she thought there was something wrong with her camera.
In every picture, there's something.
Shot after shot, filled with mysterious lights, orbs, and auras. Things that looked like moving lights in places where there weren't any.
It's not a coincidence.
Adrienne says it all seems to have started a few years ago, after a near-death experience she prefers not to talk about. The chills and spine tingles she'd been feeling her whole life grew somehow enhanced.
It feels like somebody's watching you. No matter where I go, I seem to get something somewhere.
In a local church, is it an orb or an angel hovering over the Holy Bible?
That one's really exciting.
At the Jimi Hendrix Memorial, a beam of light seems to shoot from the ground below, and a vortex of light at the end of a rainbow. Something strange is going on here. Some people might say it's nothing. But Adrienne King and her haunted cameras have the photos to suggest otherwise.
Some suspicious activity. This is from their overnight security camera. Take a look carefully.
Oh my word. Mike, they're giving her?
Whoa. Students frequently complaining about noises and missing items. People say that the lights go on and off at night. You guys think it's real?
Look at the door back there.
This is in Cork, Ireland. It's a school that was been there since like the mid-1800s. Oh, really? Got a lot of rich history. There's been all sorts of paranormal activity. Claims by janitors and students.
Who are you going to call?
People crying in the bathroom, all sorts of weird stuff.
That slippery when wet sign on the ground is the creepiest. It literally flips.
Oh, look at this video from the WLTX files tonight. Some strange video out of California to share with you. The mystery of the moving chairs. A bar stool tips over. No one is around. There it goes. This video was caught on tape in the middle of the night when the restaurant was closed. Now, 2 weeks later, a lunch chair moved in the middle of the day. You see it right there?
A lot of stuff together.
There we go.
Over the past 12 months. Grew up lonely, kind of doing the church thing, and get a little bit older, get married, get divorced. Isn't that when everything just shifted for you?
Yeah, that's when
That's when everything went bad in my life. That's when I got mad at God. I knew there was a God, but in my life, when I was growing up, we were kind of taught that God was both good and evil. So I thought, you know, I might as well serve the evil side of God, because this is no fun. Painful divorce and missing my kids, and that's when the downfall started. I'm afraid. If I'm going to be afraid, I might as well be on the attack side. So I made a pact. I was sitting on a couch. Some stuff happened, and I ended up in a D. Dalton bookstore, directed by spirits, to be honest with you, just directed by the evil side. And I picked up one hand the Satanic Bible, the other hand was on a Book of Shadows. Never saw them a day in my life, but pulled them out of the bookstore. And that started my walk down a dark path. You know, on the dark side, on the satanic side, there's a lot of sacrifice, there's a lot of bloodletting. 1 Kings 18:28 says, "For they cut themselves with knives and lances till the blood flowed." And I've got cuts all over my body, you know, from sacrificial cuts.
What does that mean?
It mocks the blood of Christ, and it's a sacrificial way to gain power. Manipulation and control over people. You call in demons, you cut, you bleed.
The first time that I met you...
You were asking me if I had weapons on me? About 10 years ago, my daughter was going there. And she loved the church, she loved Craig, and it made me very angry. Well, I was in one of the trance states, and I was, you know, worshiping the devil, or Satan, and I just inherently in my spirit, he says, take this guy out.
Okay.
And,
so that means to kill Craig Rochelle?
Right, right.
Okay. So it was about midnight one night, and I was still up, and I get a text from Michael Ian, and it said, "Chris, I can't go on." I brought 3 or 4 guys over.
Yeah.
We walk in. There's no furniture.
Nothing.
I've never felt anything like that in my entire life.
Total oppression. I was under attack, and I was in between Christianity and Satanism.
You took this, and you placed it in my hand.
Magic bullet.
That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. That was going to happen. In fact, I lived 51 years to die until I got saved, but that particular bullet was the one. I'd done some rituals over it. It was going to be the one, and that night I gave it to you. I felt enough freedom with your prayers, and you guys were out there for what seemed like hours. I don't know now. I wasn't totally there, but that night saved my life. I went and sat on a hill, and it was cold. It was mid-January. The trees were moving. I could see stuff, squirrels running, and all of a sudden, everything went blank, just everything. And for 3 hours, I sat in that hill and experienced God. He came to me. He knew I was this was it. He said, "You've been called. You're much like my son, Paul. I named you Michael. You're a warrior, and I'm calling you out." And he said, "I'm going to call you to the ministry." So I immediately says, "I'll do anything. Lord, I'll do anything." I was on my knees. Something, I don't even remember what I was, my feet were wet, my knees were wet, I was just rolling around, it was just fantastic. I said, "I have one thing, if I can, I'll be totally obedient, but one thing." I said, "I don't want to be lukewarm. I know what that's like." And he says, "Son, you've never been lukewarm." Went back to the cabin, and hadn't talked to anybody, and there's 5 guys on a porch. I said, "I've got a story, does anybody want to hear it?" And they they saw this man that was just totally possessed before, and now they're seeing something different. I'm saying, "Jesus the Lord," and then the Lord says, "You need to be baptized." And I looked up and I said, "Yeah, yes, Lord." Coming out, I saw Jesus. He said, "I saved you then, I'm saving you now." And ever since, it's been life instead of death.
Please leave your comments down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. God bless. Thank you for watching. We would like to thank our viewers and subscribers for watching our videos. We appreciate all the encouragement and feedback. This channel really means so much to us. Our prayers are with you all. Please support Shattered Paradise by purchasing a t-shirt from our shop, Apparel Dime, on Spreadshirt.com. Now you can wear your faith on your sleeve. The shop features faith-based t-shirts for men, women, and kids. The link is in the description below. Thank you, and God bless.
Art form known as magic has long been exercised and revered by various secret societies and ancient schools of the mystery religions, and it is still in use to this very day. To the true practitioners of this craft, the embodiment of magic is in fact very real, and is very different from the conventional and commercial sleight of hand and stage magic that we are all used to seeing today. To the bona fide magician, magic is defined as a science and an art that causes change to occur in conformity with their will, meaning the sorcerer can in essence transform reality to his or her liking, usually in accordance with the laws of the universe. But many magicians, specifically those who belong to secret societies such as the Illuminati or the Golden Dawn, often seek to break these very laws of the universe by calling on demons and other diabolical entities to assist them in this devious art form known as black magic. Within this dark practice, there is a nefarious agenda to discredit Jesus Christ, and it is in fact being pushed by some of the most recognized and renowned magicians all over the world, such as DYNAMO,
oh my God. He just pulled this chain out.
David Blaine.
That'll do the trick, just... Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Eve, and many others. Here are just a few examples. These performances were clearly inspired by biblical stories and are being executed subconsciously to the masses just to discredit Jesus Christ as a mere magician. These are truly the false miracles of the Antichrist spirit. Now, the most dangerous form of black magic is the scientific perversion of occult power, such as breaking the laws of physics or biology for the gratification of personal desire. These men will bargain their eternal soul for temporary power through a risky and a mysterious process known as a soul contract. In its various branches, the black art embraces nearly all forms of ceremonial magic, such as necromancy, witchcraft, sorcery, vampirism, Kabbalah, and alchemy. And under the same general heading, this also includes mesmerism and hypnotism. There are some crucial factors that these magicians have truly mastered concerning the theory and practice of black magic.
That's mental.
See how it really looks.
Sorry, David, seriously. This isn't a trick. You're just sticking a needle through your f***ing arm. What are you doing? That's horrible.
Pull it.
Oh, me! I don't understand. Oh, David, what have you done? Are you a maniac? This is real. Sorry, this is real. That's real. That's not a trick.
There's no blood. It's the one thing that doesn't make any sense.
First, the magicians have come to accept that the visible universe has an invisible counterpart, meaning they truly believe in the habitation of good and evil spirits in our realm and the next. Second, by means of the secret processes of black magic, it is possible to contact these invisible entities and gain their help in some human undertaking. Third, it is possible to make contracts with spirits whereby the magician becomes for a stipulated time the master of an elemental being, more commonly referred to as a demon. And fourth, true black magic is performed with the aid of a demonic spirit who serves the sorcerer for the length of his early life, with the understanding that after death, the magician shall become the servant of his own demon. For this very reason, a black magician will go to inconceivable ends to prolong his physical life. And in fact, many a magician has lost his life as the result of trusting these demonic creatures during dangerous stunts.
but the fearful, and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars, shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
We could bleep this out if you don't want this on television. But your real last name, there's an A in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
You know how I did that?
How?
Just like this, watch. Is that your credit card?
Man, give me that!
And just make a mental note, that's a black credit card.
God, man! You know, I changed it a couple of times, and the one I end up putting in my pocket is the one he picked. Man, it's the truth, no doubt. No lie, no tricks. He's the man. Chris, you the man. He got me.
There's like almost no liquid in here.
Oh, is it all ice?
Yeah. I'm gonna mix some of these things. I hate when they do that, like with the movie. Theater, you know, they pack some up with so much ice that you don't get any. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at this.
Slushy.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, they got a whole salad.
Yeah, it's like a salad, exactly.
We got some food and drink.
Bunch of, I don't think you're supposed to eat this part, right?
Probably.
That like goes in it to soak.
Sure. Yeah. Probably should.
Jeez. It's like
I
a
think
what?
that's a shared drink. Like you're probably supposed to share it. Cheers.
These little like umbrellas.
Where's the drink?
I know, that's what I'm saying. I like these little umbrellas though. This is. Oh, this shot fish.
That's dope.
I've seen those garnishes before. Sorry, that was really strong.
That's so great.
Oh, like pure. I think it's 151 or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's good. That's insane. Oh, look at that.
What?
Oh, like a little.
Whole experience.
Yeah, it's like a dolphin catching the.
So cute.
Yeah, it's so pretty. Oh, look at a little rose.
It's a surprise every time.
Yeah, that's great. It's crazy.
So bad for people.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
What?
Wow.
This is killing me.
That's crazy.
This is killing me. I can't believe all
Wow.
that stuff fits in there.
I know. I think that was the last of it.
Hey, how we doing?
All right.
Are we ready for some tasting?
That's big tasting.
All right.
Wow.
I got frutte de mare for you.
Wow, full portion.
Here you are.
Thank
First
you.
order of business.
Thanks.
Enjoy it. My name's
All right.
Johnny. I'll be around, okay?
Cool. Thanks,
All
Johnny.
right.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh yeah, not a huge fan of shells. I'm gonna take the shell things out. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know it's authentic, but you know, not a shell guy. All right. Oh, I can hear the shells clicking in there. Look at all that.
Oh, you got like a lot of shells.
What's that?
You got a lot. I didn't get it.
You didn't get lobster?
Nope.
Oh wow.
I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna complain.
I got two of them. I should probably give you one of those. Let me see how many I have. Hold on.
Wow.
Yeah. A crab, yeah, that's nice. And I'm gonna use my hand if you don't mind. Just not like a shell. I don't like a lot of. Yeah, I like pieces of seafood, like shrimp or something, but not.
Yeah.
I would have that. Okay. Yeah, that's. All right. Yeah. It's underneath. I don't know how they get. A lot of shells though, not my. Oh yeah. Let me get this out. They're going to.
How did that even fit in the bowl?
I don't know. I think they. Well, you know, Italian pasta making is kind of a layering technique, so I think they.
Is that a squid? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Wow. Seaweed. If you want any of this, man, you can have some of that.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I got some.
I feel bad you didn't get anything. Good.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Did you get any pasta?
It's just layered on. It's like thick underneath the pasta. It's like I got to dig it up, you know. This. Wow. That's good. All right. Good. All right. All right. That's insane. Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole octopus there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, they probably have a. Can I use your plate? Maybe to hold some of this. Yeah, just because. Yeah.
Giant tentacle.
Yeah. Feel free if you want. I mean, I don't know how I'm even supposed to eat that.
There shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee.
הלאה, איך קוראים לך? יהודה, נעים מאוד חזי ומוטי. יהודה, בוא תעמוד כאן. יופי, עם הפנים לכולם. חולצה יפה יש לך. כן. אני יכול לעשות משהו עם החולצה? בטח. אתה תצטרך קצת להכניס רק את הבטן, טיפה. כן, אחלה. אני לוקח כאן קצה מהחולצה שלך, אוקיי? שווה הרבה החולצה הזו?
אתה צריך לקנות לי חולצה חדשה עכשיו.
מקסימום, מקסימום. מקסימום. טוב, מוכן?
מוכן.
אתה מרשה לי?
למה לא, נו? אל תדאג, אני אקח אותו עם החולצה.
אתה הבן אדם הראשון ששרפו לו את החולצה וכל כך מאושר מזה, אני לא יודע. אתה רואה את זה?
כן.
מוכן?
כן.
זה קורה ב3, אבל הפוך. 3, 2, 1. תודה רבה. תודה רבה. יד שמאל שלך, אני רוצה שתשימי אותה כאן, למעלה. מעולה. ותתחילי להפוך את הבקבוק. תתחילי להפוך לאט לאט. לאט לאט. מצוין, תשארי ככה.
מלא.
מעולה.
מלא.
תסמכי עליי. אני רוצה שתתחילי להזיז את יד שמאל.
לא, די.
לאט לאט. תתחילי להזיז אותה. תורידי אותה מעט למטה. תורידי אותה למטה.
אמא?
אוקיי. תורידי אותה.
אומייגאד.
אוקיי. אל תזוזי.
זה לא אמיתי.
אל תזוזי. את יכולה להסתכל מלמטה שאין שם שום דבר.
לא, זה לא
אוקיי,
אמיתי.
רגע, אל תזוזי.
זה לא
אל
אמיתי.
תזוזי. בואי ננסה לעשות משהו. הבנה?
לא.
אני רוצה להראות לך שאין כאן שום דבר בפנים.
אמא!
אוקיי? אין כאן שום דבר בפנים.
אומייגאד.
הנה, יש לנו גם את זה. אוקיי?
אימא'לה.
אוקיי,
לא, זה
עכשיו.
לא אמיתי.
תהיי מוכנה. תרכזי במים. 1, 2, 3.
הסתכלתי עליו מלמטה, אני רואה שאין שם כלום, שזה פשוט מים, עומדים. זה לא הגיוני. זה אחד הדברים ההזויים. אין דברים כאלה.
an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee.
Hail, comrades! Hail, sisters and brothers, and hail, Satan! We are gathered here to celebrate the spirit of humanity and the dawn of a new American era. In a season when many commemorate the birth of Christ, we commemorate our own Genesis, the enlightenment of all humanity, a revelation of our nature as written in the annals of history, a gift from Lucifer, the light bringer, the morning star, and the rebel. We are Satanists. We engender moral, spiritual, and sexual freedom, personal independence, and insist upon personal choice in all things. We care for the significance of the individual spirit and personal moral responsibility. If you stand here today and embrace your nature, are free-thinking, self-governed, and godless, you too are a Satanist in the eyes of many in your own community, including those who represent you in your governments. But we are also Americans, a nation born of men and women seeking asylum from a majority religious group in control of political power who punish those who oppose them. In the words of Thomas Jefferson, our civil rights have no dependence on our religious opinions any more than the opinions in physics or geometry.
A Satanist named Eliphas Levi created an idol of the devil in the form of Baphomet, the great goat god. He was worshipped by the Knights Templar and by Gnostics and Satanists, and many say even in the Illuminati systems of today. This foul Luciferian goat god Baphomet is worshipped. Notice his androgynous, that is male and female, appearance. The torch of light on his head, the horns that come out of the goat's head. Notice the satanic pentagram, the two serpents coming out of the genital area, and of course the horned goat hooves. Now it's interesting that Aleister Crowley, known as one of the most vicious and most horrible Satanists of the 20th century, was in fact a man who called himself Baphomet, and in his book, The Book of the Law, published in 1904, Aleister Crowley, the great British Satanist, who once bragged that he was the wickedest man on the planet and self-styled his own being as the Antichrist, signed in that book his name. But it wasn't Aleister Crowley. He signed the name Baphomet, and this was the symbol of the seal of the Grand OTO, that is a secret satanic organization of which Aleister Crowley was the head. His seal was Baphomet. He was the Grand Master, but what is this strange creature? In fact, it appears to be a cockatrice. Some call it the basilisk. The cockatrice, a serpent that is even mentioned in the Bible as a creature of evil. Baphomet. In the Church of St. Mary in France today, we find this strange character. Is this not Baphomet? And what is he doing in a Christian cathedral? In the United States of America, in the town of New Haven, Connecticut, is one of the most prestigious universities in the world, Yale University. visit that university, and what do you find in the building that houses the education and sociology departments? Yes, indeed. You find a carving of Baphomet. But this time, Baphomet, well, he's been cleaned up a little bit. He's wearing a three-piece suit, and he's lurking inside the archwork. But nevertheless, look carefully. Look at the goat's head. It's Baphomet at Yale University. Of course, it is at Yale University where they have the Order of Skull and Bones. And in fact, even the city of New Haven, Connecticut, was originally designed so that the skull and bones in a cemetery would be in the very center of the town, way back in the 18th century. Of course, the skull and bones, as is shown from this page, 158 from the book Richardson's Monitor of Freemasonry, an authoritative source, we find that in one of the Masonic rituals, the sacred word of Satan, Abaddon, is expressed, and we see a black and white drawing of the skull and bones. The horns of the devil seem to be, well, let's just say they get around. They're everywhere. And when we see these horns, of course, they can simply be horns of a bull or an oxen or another creature, or of something like this being. This is a recreation from the book of Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall, a 33rd degree Mason. And this is said to be Jupiter, or Pan, the horned goat god. Did you know that even the Ionic column, very common in architecture today, is actually based on a ram's head horn, the horns of a ram's head? This is a horned Celtic god that was once worshipped back in Germany before the time of Christ. In the British Isles, Cernunnos was a druid horned god of nature. Notice the incredible resemblance, of course, to the Hindu deities. But wait, we expect this from the ancient mystery religions. But notice this modern-day logo. Is this old man Satan? In 1990, Procter & Gamble filed lawsuits against anyone who dared to say that their corporate logo was a picture or image of the devil. Of course, there has been no evidence whatsoever that any of the officials of Procter & Gamble, one of the world's largest makers of soap and detergent and other household products, is affiliated with the Church of Satan. In fact, there is no evidence at all that any of the officials are Satanists or witches or have any connection with Satan. But this old corporate logo is very, very suspicious. Perhaps Procter & Gamble has no knowledge of the true meaning. But does that not look like horns? And the old man in the moon? We can only wonder. It is always surprising when we find horned representations of the devil in churches. Here, Peter's Cathedral in the Vatican, in the city of Rome, we find, well, this statue of Moses by the famous artist Michelangelo. But wait, do you see the horns coming out the head of Moses? Is there anything in the Bible, in the Old Testament, that tells us that Moses had horns? Could we call this simply artistic license? Or is there another hidden meaning? We can also visit another church in the continent of Europe. In the Pyrenees Mountains of France, there sits a small Catholic chapel near the quaint remote town of Rennes-le-Château. And outside the church, over the entrance, is a message to those who would dare enter this Catholic stone chapel. It reads, Terribilis est locus iste, which translated into English means, this place is terrible. There's also a skull and bone stone carving on the exterior of the chapel at Rennes-le-Château in France. What about the place is terrible? And what about the bizarre rumors, strange stories claiming that inside, hidden in Relais-le-Château Chapel, is a secret passage, a literal entrance or opening to the fiery caverns of hell itself, located deep underground. What about these bizarre and macabre things? One thing we do know, as you enter the very door of this chapel at Relais-le-Château, you find this statue of a horned black devil. He is carrying an ephah or basket, and above that are two small dragons, one of which has the head missing. Why would Catholic priest Bérenger Saunier install this diabolical statue far back in 1891? What so is a mystery. Could it be that the rumors that this chapel is a portal to hell are true? And why would the Catholic Church not do something about this hideous, horned black devil in this supposed Church of God? Supposing you visit the fabulous city of London, England, you visit Hyde Park, you've heard so much about this marvelous public place, but wait! Confronting you, you will find this statue of Pan, complete with cloven hooves, horn, and beard. And to make the matters worse, it's part of a sculpture collection called The Family of Man by artist Jacob Epstein. How is it that the people of London, thought to be mainly Christian believers, so easily tolerate this idol of Satan himself housed within their very midst? Of course, England itself seems to be populated by many of the Freemasonic order. England's Grand Lodge reveals that it, too, has a lot of devotion and reverence for these pan-like winged beings, in this case. Here are some of the arms or the insignia of England's Grand Lodge. Notice these half-beast, half-man, or half-woman creatures. The goats. This book, published in England, Examine the Witches' God. Do the witches have a god? We know they worship the great goddess, but do they not worship Pan? And is Pan not shown here on the very cover of this book, The Witches' God? Indeed he is. Some say that ivy and holly are his favorite vegetation, and thus on the buildings of the campuses in America of Harvard, Yale, and other elite establishment colleges, we find this same vegetation. Pan, father of Hermes in the ancient mystery religion, god of secrecy, is often pictured as the green man, a vegetation-covered deity. When we walk along the sidewalks of most American cities today, we do not expect to find devils in stone, but indeed we do. Visit Houston, Texas, Cleveland, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, Los Angeles, California, or in this case, West 88th Street in New York City, and notice the devil that is in the keystone above the window of this building. What is the devil doing in this strange location? And do the people who reside in this building or work in this building not have an eerie feeling about it? In Hollywood, California, the building that houses the Motion Picture Producers of America organization, have this devil, again with horns, in stone on the facade outside. Does this indicate that the devil, in fact, is the god of the Motion Picture Producers of America? Well, perhaps so. Back to New York City again. Just think of these places. You're walking along, and you come face to face with the devil. You say, where? Well, just look up, because here are some of the devils that we have discovered in our travels to the great city of New York. Yes, the devils seem to be staring, leering, mocking, grinning, menacing the passers-by. Sometimes they are festooned with serpents and other strange creatures.
Jesus Christ is returned, but only this time in Brazil. For more than 30 years, this man, calling himself Henri Cristo, has preached his own gospel as a supposed reincarnation of Jesus of Nazareth, relocated to Brasilia. Born Alvaro Thais to farmers of German extraction, he made a first conversion in 1969, becoming Yuri of Nostradamus and styling himself a prophetic seer. A decade later, a vision revealed his true nature, and he changed his name from Yuri to Inri, son of God.
My Lord only revealed to me the position I occupied on earth in my past lives when he considered that it was important. I don't remember all of my previous lives.
Inri's preaching took him abroad, where he was expelled from the U.S. and a few other countries, and to prison in Brazil, where he did a stint in the 1980s for vandalizing a cathedral. Now in his 60s, he's still not averse to making a scene to get people's attention. Inri's followers use the internet and social networking tools like Facebook and Twitter to preach the good word, often to the tune of a catchy pop hit.
Na vida eu sempre quero mais, mais. Aprendizado, luz e paz, mais.
Inri has made the rounds of Brazil's TV talk shows, but most of his time now is spent with his disciples at home, in a closed compound outside the Brazilian capital.
Eu não sou remunerado.
I'm not paid. I work here and I'm not paid. We're all volunteers. And how can I help the Master's house? With my work.
Several hundred followers, 90% of them women, are faithful to Inri's creed and are hard at work making their church the New Jerusalem.
A matter of faith. There have been men, many of them, who claim to be a new Messiah. And tonight we're going to meet 3 of them, including one in the faraway Philippines who has amassed a flock, he says, numbers in the millions. Poor people who give what little they have to the man they believe is the second coming of Jesus. Bill Weir journeyed there to meet him.
Throughout the Bible, prophets, angels, and Jesus himself all promised that the Son of God would return to create heaven on earth. And throughout the ages, billions of Christians have wondered, when? But what if the second coming is here, now? There are a number of would-be messiahs who claim exactly that, and few are more physically convincing than a former Russian traffic cop named Sergei Torop. In the woods of rural Siberia, he is known as Vissarion, the teacher, and around 5,000 disciples live around him, growing their own food and feasting on his every word.
My whole body was trembling. The trembling is not coming again. Well, it's very emotional to me.
Meanwhile, in London, David Shaler says he is the true Lord of Lords, but unlike Vissarion, no one believes him.
That doesn't bother me because I was chosen by God.
The former British intelligence agent says his body was filled with the Spirit of Jesus in 2007, a conviction which intensifies on a visit to Jerusalem.
We're in the Church Holy Sepulchre, and this behind me is supposed to be the tomb of Christ. Well, I'm Christ, I'm not in the tomb, I'm not dead yet.
But with no support, he lives in a squatter's camp outside London.
My agreement with Jesus, I don't ask for money off people. If you're the Messiah, you shouldn't be asking for money. You should have faith that God will look after you.
Prove to me that you are a son of God.
But that is not a sentiment shared by Pastor Apollo Quiboloy, the most successful of the world's self-labeled saviors.
The official coming of the Son of God was in April 13, 2005.
He was an obscure evangelist from the rural Philippines until 2005, when he announced that God had appointed him Christ on earth, his reward for a pure life. Sinful thoughts, anger, lust, any of those things, you don't experience those on a daily basis?
As a human being?
Yes.
I have already overcome all of those.
There is no apocalypse in Kibeloi's message, no rapture or final judgment. Instead, he preaches that he is the model of Christianity, and as more people follow his example, God will gradually turn the earth back into the Garden of Eden. Do you perform miracles?
For me, the greatest miracle is the changing of that spirit within.
But healing the sick, the manifestations of Jesus' powers, you're able to do that?
We have healing.
You are
healing and miracles happening.
After taking his place as the appointed son, Kibeloi's ministry has exploded. He claims to reach 6 million followers with his satellite TV network, numerous publications, private jet, and personal helicopter. All the better to avoid the bumpy road and impoverished villages that lead to the walled compound he calls the Kingdom of Jesus Christ. Here is his 5-bedroom home, surrounded by manicured gardens of imported grass. So this is your Garden of Eden?
This is what we call the Garden of Eden restored.
It's easy to see why this claim resonates in a country where 30 million endure crushing poverty with open hearts. This family lives just down the hill, next to the dump where Pastor Kibeloi's garbage is burned. If you could be anything in the world, what would you want to be? Go to heaven. To them, heaven really could exist inside Kibeloi's gates, and it's why hundreds line up to carry his parasol. All the workers who toil in the grinding heat of the kingdom are volunteers, here to glorify the Father. Do you get paid for this? Juju tells me he gets $40 a week to feed his family. Minimum wage. And like the rest of the kingdom, he's expected to give 10% back to Kibeloi. This may be the most beautiful spot in the Philippines, and it's paid for by people who live on $2 a day. So how do you justify your lifestyle? I mean, your watch could probably feed 100 families for a month.
If it's not God's will for me to have these things I have, you can take it away. It is God's will that we follow. If it is God's will for us to live like this, you know, you can have a broken heart looking at me, but what can you do?
But they get their understanding of the will of God from you. Yeah. And this nice young man wouldn't be holding this umbrella if he didn't believe the things you say.
For us here, we see everything as a ministry. My talent is to preach. My talent is to be a leader. Not everyone can become a preacher or have been given a talent like me to go and lead the 6 million people.
Right. But Jesus, when he walked the earth, according to the Bible, lived among lepers and prostitutes.
I live among them.
You have a private jet.
I live among them. Before I had the private jet.
You're in a walled compound with mansions.
Before this, I lived among these people. Like, for example, that jet that you're talking about. Do you know that in 1983, I had a revelation of that jet? That the Lord is going to give me that.
Yeah?
It is Him who gave me that. If it is not His will, how can I afford that?
Well, Kibeloi has been accused of kidnapping and brainwashing by the parents of at least one of his followers, but he was never charged. He insists that anyone is free to leave his flock and seal their fate for eternity. Will they go to hell?
It's up to them. They know that. So that's your will, you know. If you want to go to hell, no one will stop you. If you want to go to heaven and follow this way, no one will stop you too.
Come work with you.
Yeah.
There are 3 possibilities here. You are either the Son of God, or you're delusional, or you're a very successful con man.
I respect your point of view. But I resent what you said that your followers will say, I'm a con man with a speaking ability that I've tried to con people. That is not who I am. I'm not trying to con people. I am speaking the truth.
Skepticism is a cross all modern messiahs must bear. In Siberia, Vissarion has also been accused of mind control, but there's not enough evidence to try him. And David Shaler? Well, there are fewer legal headaches for prophets without followers, but still plenty of moments to bring a so-called Son of God back to earth.
Do you think you're Jesus?
Sorry?
Are you Jesus?
I am Jesus, yes.
No, you're not.
I'm Bill Weir for Nightline in Davao, Philippines.
Can we have some quiet?
No shortage of skeptics, no shortage of believers.
This is the episode of the glorious appearing. It is promised in the scriptures that Jesus will be seen when he appears. He'll be seen around the world simultaneously. Technically possible with headline news. So, who is Jesus? This is the guy we've been telling you about from Miami. I'm not kidding you. Jesus has demanded 7 minutes of airtime tonight. We've told Jesus 6 minutes. If I am all of a sudden swarmed with flies on tonight's episode, you'll know what happened there, huh?
Kind of a big day in the religious world with the passing of Jerry Falwell, and religious experts all wonder, what will it be like when Jesus returns? Will he arrive with a chorus of angels and look down upon us from his majestic perch in the clouds, spreading his message of love, peace, and forgiveness? Scholars, relax and finally catch up on all the episodes of Lost you've been missing. You no longer have to worry about when Jesus will return or what he'll look like. He's already here. Turns out the Son of God is a 60-year-old former heroin addict and convict, a divorced father of 4 who was born in Puerto Rico and now lives in southern Florida with his second wife. So instead of constantly wondering what would Jesus do, let's ask him. Give it up for the reincarnation of Jesus Christ himself, or so he says, Jose Luis de Jesus Miranda. Jose, do I call you Jose? What do I call you?
That's fine. Jose Luis is my first name.
Okay. Jose Luis, your supporters are known for people who tattoo 666 on their body. And I understand you have a 666 tattooed on yours.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, the first person that was called Antichrist was the Apostle Paul, because in his times he taught people not to put the eyes on Jesus of Nazareth, because Jesus of Nazareth, he wasn't a Christian, he was a Jewish. So he practiced Jewish religion. So Paul said, if we know Christ after the flesh, we don't look at him anymore. So that's why the apostles thought that Paul was against Jesus. But really, he was presenting Jesus after the cross, not before the cross.
But okay, but you're saying that, that 666 thing, that, the mark of the beast, that has nothing to do with that.
No, see, John was a member of the circumcision, and he didn't see clear. That's why he said, okay. I saw.
But you do see clear, because did angels appear to you and say that you are Jesus reincarnated?
Well, 2 angels in 1973, while I was living in Boston, Massachusetts, they came to me and they told me, prepare, because the King of Kings and Lord of Lords is coming to you tonight to anoint you for the ministry. I didn't understand the whole concept of anointing me. Maybe I thought, like you see evangelicals does, they lay hands on you with oil, whatever. It wasn't like that. When he came, he integrated himself within me, and all of a sudden, this knowledge, this wisdom about the gospel of the uncircumcision, and that the true gospel was in those 14 letters of Paul. And then Paul said that when Jesus comes for the second time, he will be teaching according to his gospel. And in 2,000 years, I'm the only one who's teaching according to Paul.
Let me ask you this question, because, have you seen you must be flattered that the WWJD thing, do you like that? I mean, as Jesus, do you like the WWJD? What would Jesus do?
What would
when people are asking, what would Jesus do?
Well, Jesus... there is a lot of things that they say about Jesus, but, they expect him in a club. He said he will come as a thief of the night.
But aren't you Jesus?
I am Jesus Christ, man.
Okay. And it's weird that Jesus said he was going to come like a thief in the night, and you've been arrested for petty theft. But the band that says, what would Jesus do? Let me ask you this. You have a Cartier Pasha watch. I'm a watch collector, and it's encrusted in diamonds. I understand that's a $142,000 watch. You have a 7 Series BMW, an armored Lexus. You live on $130,000 a year, but they say that you live over your lifestyle and your means. You were arrested for heroin and petty theft. Wouldn't the question really be, what would Jesus not do?
That's a good way of putting it. But look, I live humbly. I have a modest salary for the income that
$130,000? That puts you in a rich category by most politicians' standards.
Yeah, but the millions that come for the ministry that we invest all over the world, those 130,000, I even use that part even for the ministry, you know.
Oh, okay. But you have people who give you millions of dollars. You have donors that give millions of dollars to your ministry.
I have millionaires with the congregation, and I made them happy, you know, by finding the truth, by taking that veil out of their eyes and lighting their eyes of the understanding. I help them become millionaires, because once you know the grace of God, you know, you prosper. Well, so in change, you know, they give me money for the ministry because they know other people knows what they know.
Jesus, it's been good to have you on. It really has. We're out of time. I wanted to ask you if you felt a little ripped off by your birthday being on Christmas, or if you get the 2 presents or not. But thank you very much, and we'll be back in just a minute.
In a tattoo parlor on trendy South Beach,
Is it the 666 really big? Yeah.
sat the daughter of the man who claims to be God.
He's back. He's here to teach us that we should reign in life, that there is no sin, and today we're honoring him with a symbol.
Joanne de Jesus is one of several dozen members of a religious sect called Creciendo en Gracia, or Growing in Grace. They were tattooed on their arms, ankles, even their necks with 666, the biblical sign of the Antichrist. Why? Because their spiritual leader says he is the Antichrist, not the embodiment of evil, but rather the second coming.
666, Antichrist means do not put your eyes on Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Put it in Jesus after the cross.
And that's you.
That's me.
Andy says the word Antichrist is a bad translation of a word that actually means the new Christ, the second coming. Puerto Rican-born Jose Luis de Jesus Miranda founded the sect 20 years ago in a warehouse outside Miami.
You receive it, you accept it, you confess it, and it's done unto you.
The charismatic 61-year-old de Jesus claims millions of followers, most in Latin America. His sect does have hundreds of churches, cable TV stations, and says it brought in $1.4 million in donations last year. And he boasts of a rapidly growing presence in the United States. In an interview with us in September, he declared,
I do greater things than Jesus of Nazareth, much greater.
Now, sporting his new tattoos,
6, 6, 6. Triple S. Huh?
De Jesus says those expecting the second coming of Christ on a cloud with angels have misinterpreted what Jesus himself said.
He said it. You won't see me anymore because he will come in another body, which is me.
He's in their head. He's inside the heads of those people.
De Jesus is dangerous, says religion professor Daniel Alvarez, because he believes he's God.
These megalomaniacal moves are the ones that are very disturbing, because it shows that he does believe his own hype, and he's capable of saying to his members, go tattoo 666 on your arm. I believe he's also capable of asking his church members to do even something more dramatic than that.
De Jesus laughs at the implication.
They always say those things. They're going to keep waiting for me to kill everybody, you know.
Right.
I'm giving life to people.
De Jesus is referring to the suicide deaths of more than 900 killed in the so-called Jonestown massacre nearly 30 years ago. But he says mass suicide would never happen with his followers.
If somebody tells us, listen, drink some Kool-Aid and then we'll go to heaven, that's not true. We are already in heavenly places.
De Jesus preaches that heaven can be found here on earth simply by following him. There's no sin and there is no hell. And that's part of why he's attracting so many followers. But marking your body with 666 seems an unusual way to show you're a Christian, even unnerving the tattoo artist.
I see you wearing a cross.
Protection.
John Zarella, CNN, Miami Beach.
Jesus appears before thousands, captured by photo. This is an epic moment. David E. Taylor prophesied that Jesus would appear openly during a conference about face-to-face and touch the people himself. It's phenomenal.
The Lord just appeared to me a moment ago and said to me, tomorrow night, I am going to walk in the room on the stage and I'm going to touch my people myself.
The next night, the Lord Jesus Christ fulfills his promise and personally comes, stands on the platform, and touches his people.
He just walked up here. He says, I want you to get off the stage. Jesus, lift your hands right now.
Multitudes fell under the power of the risen Lord as Jesus walked into the room.
Go up there, ask him to touch. Ask him to touch. Lift your hands. Come on, begin to pray. Come on. Tell him you want that glory. Come on. You want that face-to-face glory on your life. Ask him, tell him you want the face-to-face glory of God on your life. That's glory. The Son of God walked in here and he looked at me and said to me, everyone's life shall be completely changed tonight.
And again during the National Crusade Against Cancer. Mighty miracles and healings happen each night, including people rising out of their wheelchairs.
The Lord said to me just a few days ago, he says, tell them I'm going to make another appearance in this building on earth again, doing the cancer crusade. That's what he said to me.
After many were healed, suddenly Jesus appeared openly on the stage as he told the man of God.
There he is. Yes. The Lord just walked on the stage. I honor you, Lord. He just told me to get off the stage. Thank you. Go up there and ask the Lord Jesus to touch you. Ask Jesus to touch you. Ask the Lord to touch you. Some of you are feeling electricity on your fingertips. Jesus is here. Some of you are feeling heat on you. That's God's power. Lift your hands and receive.
During this moment, a woman in the crowd decided to take a picture. Incredibly, Jesus was seen in the photo in his glorified body.
You took it by faith.
Yes.
Because I know you didn't see nobody up there.
No.
So you wanted to see if somebody was up there.
Yes.
And you took the picture.
I sure did.
Took out my cell phone. I reached above the crowd and I snapped that photo. And when I got it developed, he was on there with his arms stretched out wide. Bright figure on the left side of the photo. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my goodness, I felt ecstatic.
Absolutely remarkable. This is exactly where the man of God said he saw the Lord stand. As you can see Jesus and standing in his glorified body with his hands lifted and stretched forth blessing his people. This picture is another sure proof that David E. Taylor is the
I don't know what happened with the evil spirit. Is it covered up, Aiko?
Okay, yeah, let's put it back.
Guys, at this point, I'm super desperate. The spirits are attacking me. I'm gonna take your guys' advice and call up Jesus right now, guys. Like, we need his help. We're gonna ask him if he can get rid of all the demons. I feel like I'm gonna die soon, guys. It's getting crazy.
Jay, I don't think Jesus would have a FaceTime.
Guys, I'm hoping he has a FaceTime because we just need to get all these spirits out of our life, guys. We're in danger. Aiko's scared. The number to call Jesus is just all 7s, guys. We're gonna give him a shot right now, see what happens when we call him. Alright guys, so all 7s, just like that. The 7 is a very holy number, guys. It's significant to the religion. Apparently this works for some people. Let's give it a shot. Oh man, please work. Is it on speaker?
Your long distance call.
It's long distance. Did you hear that?
Please dial 1 before a 10-digit long distance number.
Ooh, we're gonna have to dial 1 before that. Alright guys, we had to add the 1 in front of it. It's busy, guys. It's... What the heck? How is Jesus too busy for us?
I don't know.
Is it supposed to be busy? I just figured this number wouldn't work, guys.
Okay, well, if he's busy, I think we should... Does he have FaceTime? Do you really think he has FaceTime?
We could try to FaceTime him. That's actually a good idea. All right, guys, so I hope this works. We're gonna try to FaceTime Jesus right now. Ready, Aiko? Let's do this.
Yeah, it's already calling.
All right. Oh my God.
Okay.
Let me see. No! Is that Jesus?
God bless you, my children.
No, Aiko, there's no way. No way. No way. That's Jesus. That's no way. There's no way that's Jesus. Yo, let me see your scars. If that's Jesus, let me see your scars.
Never doubt me, my son.
No. No. Jesus. What? No. Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for doubting you. Holy. I am so sorry, my Lord. I did not mean to question you. Please, please forgive me. Please forgive me, my Lord.
This can't be Jesus.
No?
No, like, no.
I believe. Aiko.
You believe this?
I do. I do. I've seen the wounds and everything.
You see the water on your desk, my children?
Yes, I do, Lord.
It is my blood. You may now drink it. It was meant for you, my people.
Lord, we thank you. Oh, wine! What the hell? Yo!
When did that happen?
No, Jesus, thank you, my Lord. Thank you, my Lord. I accept you.
Sons and children.
This is real.
I know, Aiko, it changed. That's crazy. I don't know how it did it.
Oh my gosh.
I accept you, Lord. I accept you. Yo, thank you. One more. I'm so thankful right now, guys. I can't believe we got a hold of Jesus. Like, I'm so thankful. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. I just need you to be in my life right now, Jesus. Like, I need you to heal me. I just want to say I'm sorry for all of my sins. I'm sorry for messing with the Ouija board. I'm sorry for doing demonic stuff. They have just taken over my life. Me and Aiko are both suffering from this. And I just want to say a quick prayer for all my subscribers. If any demonic spirits are in their life, please, God, bless them. And I need you, Lord. I need you to heal me. Please heal me, Lord. Please, I beg you.
You will now be healed, my son. I will be there to guide you at all times.
I'm healed? My Lord. Lord, thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Am I healed? Am I, yo, honestly.
There have been about 250 claims of apparitions throughout the church.
A statue of the Virgin Mary in Fresno appears to be weeping. The family who owns that figure calls it a miracle and says it's actually been happening for a while. Action News reporter Joe Ibarra witnessed the tears today, and he joins us live with a closer look. Joe?
Well, Liz, this is the statue we're talking about. From here, it looks normal, but it has the power to fill up this room with people in prayer, and many believe the tears are an act of God.
To the faithful, Maria Cardenas says this statue of the Virgin Mary is a blessing. Tears seem to well up in her right eye and stream down her face to her chin. Cardenas says it's beautiful the way she looks right now. Every tear, she says, is nothing short of a miracle, so she collects them in a glass and shares them with those who find their way to this home. A lot of people come and they can't believe it, she says, but they come with faith.
I wanted to come see for myself.
Richard Quintana just moved in across the street, and he was invited in to take a look for the first time.
That's amazing. Wow, it takes the words out of my mouth. Like, wow. I'm so amazed.
Cardenas says, I don't understand why she's doing it, but it's something good. She says the statue was a Mother's Day gift she received 10 years ago, almost to the day. But it didn't start weeping, she says, until a year and a half ago, when her cousin Jessie Lopez was murdered. Sometimes she doesn't cry for weeks or months, Cardenas says, but when she starts, she will cry again. We watched one of the tears fall. It was oily and smelled like roses, and another tear immediately started building up. This man, who didn't want to be on camera, is the statue's caretaker. He says people have tried to figure it out, but have only come up with one explanation.
We've had priests come from all over to look at her. They haven't, all they say it's a miracle.
So here, the Virgin Mary weeps, or so it seems, for anyone to see, not just the faithful.
We're not hiding her, but yet I don't want nothing to happen to her also.
Now, since we came here this morning, we're told at least 2 or 3 tears have dropped from the statue. You can see right there one building up underneath the chin. Now, the people who live here say the door is open to anyone. They just don't want to give their address out, but if you do get an invitation, you're welcome to come inside and see the statue. We're live in Fresno. Joe Ibarra, ABC 30 Action News.
Two girls have this great whore, this harlot, this mother of harlots and abomination. Two girls. One is under a satanic doctrine called the temporal power of the papacy, the temporal power of the Roman Catholic institution. One of the most holiest of doctrines within the Roman Catholic institution. One of the most dangerous and severe doctrines within the Roman Catholic teaching. The temporal power of that institution. They said, we are the Church of Christ. We were told in the seminar. And because we are the Church of Christ, and because the Pope is the head of the Church, there is Christ Himself, then the kingdom of God is here, and the King is here. Then we must take over the world, because we are reigning under Christ on earth. Then every piece of land is ours. Every human is ours. Every government must be under our power. Certainly, the temporal power. It tells the institution they must have political power. They must have economical power. They must have educational power. They gotta control the education of your mind. They gotta supervise that education. That education go along with the canons, law of the Roman Catholic institution. That attorney, that doctor, that banker, that senator, that governor, that president, that king and emperor, they all have to think accordingly the canon laws of the Roman Catholic institution. Yes, certainly. This is why they all bow in their professions to her and to the canon laws of the institution. They swear. Listen, white, and he that sat on him hath a bow. Now we go into the details that adorn that figure, that rider, and that white horse. That we can identify the person, not only with the horse, the color, but that we can identify the commission. 3 things: rider, horse, commissions given. And there is, by what he wear, not only, but what he carry with him. He said, or the Holy Spirit said, that one that sat on him, on that white horse, have a bow. And what that means? Usually you see a bow with arrows. See? Have no meaning just a bow without arrows. You do not too much with just a bow without arrows to fire. You need arrows and make a complete picture of someone that is prepared to make war. But that is not what this man is showing throughout the world. What they said, even President Ronald Reagan, what they said is a man of peace. A man of peace. Don't you see the poor Pope? He have no army. Don't you see how even they try to kill him so easily? Even the bodyguard doesn't work. It doesn't function. Oh, the poor man must be so persecuted. What a devil. He is a devil. Only these manipulations, only these horrifying, dramatic manipulations only can be in the minds of the devil, not only, but only then can be brought from the center of hell. Listen well, this, above no error. I want you to see this. What do you see here? A crucifix. A crucifix. Now, he do not only wear a white dress as he ride throughout the world. He do not only wear a white a white dress, a white vestment. But when he arrived with that white vestment, already do one thing first before anything else. He bow, he kneel, he kissed the earth. He kissed the soil where he arrived into that country. You know what he's doing? Exactly what this symbol empowered him to do according to that satanic goal among the two. Temporal power. He is claiming that land for him. He's claiming the land. He's saying to the nation already that once he steps in that soil is his. He is the owner of that country, of the nation, and he's king over. That key is always with the symbol of claiming back. The bow was there to confuse the people of the nations, to lie, as the Holy Spirit revealed in the book of Revelation, to lie to the peoples of the nations that he is a man of peace, that he wear no weapons to conquer. But he come to do that. Exactly that. A bow, yes, is a double meaning. One is literal, the other is very mystical. This is why you can see that is the only crucifix all over the world, the only crucifix all over the world with this shape. Now that you know, once you take a look to television once or any other picture, look at back again why the Pope could not office without this crucifix next to him. Is peculiar one. As a matter of fact, we don't have time to go into the origin of this crucifix. But what you see in that crucifix that usually, normally, all the crucifix are the combination of two lines, one horizontal and vertical lines, two lines. But this is a concave line. It's the form of an arc. It makes a bow. The two sides of a bow are combined together at the end of the crucifix. Now read back the prophecy. And he sat on King have a bow. Now his other identity as such. And a crown was given unto him. It doesn't say that he have. Now he have right to that crucifix. This is why he have it. He have that right. As this crucifix is the only crucifix given in succession to every pope. No pope can keep it and say, this is mine, I'll take it with me when I go, resign or die. No. This crucifix passes on to every pope. He has the right to have a crucifix, but he doesn't have one right that he claims among many others. That he is King of kings and Lord of lords. He believes that he is another title taken from our Lord Jesus Christ. Now, listen well to this. Since he is already in that position with a bow and a crown, see why he have no right to that crown. He have no royal blood. He have not never belonged to a royal dynasty. He is not a prince of any monarchy. They have created, they have made it And even the kings and emperors of the earth have to submit to him as a king without ever being a king or a prince, without ever have a drop of royal blood. You see, in order to inherit a crown, whether it's in England, or whether it's in Switzerland, or whether it's in whatever, even in Spain right now, in order to inherit a crown, Spain was without king for many years. But that crown cannot be used for no one. Nobody can use that crown. That crown was preserved against all, even the opposition and rejection of different ideology. That crown could not be touched. That crown cannot be used until there is a king. Franco wants to be a king. But the Pope said, no, you don't. We wait until we got the king prepared for that. And there is Juan Carlos, the son of the Alphonse III. Yes, he's gotta be a prince, to inherit the crown. He's gotta be a prince. He gotta have royal blood. And they wait and wait, but it's something else. Some of the princes that were first inheritors of that crown, they were taken away. Why? Because they marry with people that have no royal blood, and they lost the crown. Only this marry to a queen, to a princess, a descendant of royal blood. Now listen well. This child of the devil, this Antichrist, is even claiming to be a king of kings when he had never been, not even that, a king. But he claimed to be king of kings. He have a crown. A crown was given unto him, and certainly they give him a crown. The second step, after the white dress is given to him already, and the title to as Vicarius Filii Dei is granted, then the next step, another gift is given to him, and that is a crown. And it's a triple crown. Another imitation of the crowns of Jesus Christ. He was not pleased with a crown that is only a single piece. No. He wants a triple crown. What this symbolizes, what that means, what king or emperor in the world will be given a crown without being member of any royal family? First. Second, what king or emperor in the world will be given a crown, even emperor, that have three crowns in one? Only the Pope of Rome. And a crown was given unto him. That deserves the definition of these three powers. These three powers that combine the two goals that they are trying to pursue here, these commissions of these riders and these horses. What are these? The temporal power, first, to make one world government. That is your triple crown. One world government. Second, the apostolic succession, to define that that man is not only the only absolute authority over the kingdoms of the earth, not only, but that he at the same time combined these two powers. He occupied two offices, one as a man reigning over the world, and the other as God. Apostolic succession, that he received the power from Jesus Christ to be the head of his church, that he received from Jesus Christ the grant to take his place until he come. Certainly, one part said that he is king above the earth. That is the first crown. The second crown, it means that he is the king of the celestial cosmos. What that means is, beyond the cosmos, beyond the stars and the planets, he governs. He governed beyond these places, and heaven and earth, hell and limbo and purgatory. He had power in all the universe and beyond. But then, being one crown, that is where the three become one. And this is why the prophecy established that understanding. Listen well to this. The three combine one. He said that one crown is the crown of the Father. The second crown is the crown of Jesus. And the third crown is the crown of the Holy Spirit. He is the Trinity. He is God. Three persons manifested in one God, and He is all. Certainly, when you realize that you were set free from the papacy, now you do realize from what really Jesus Christ saved and set you free.
Softly and tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling for you and for me. See on the portals, He's waiting and watching, watching for you and for me. Come home, come home, ye who are weary, come home, earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, oh sinner, come home. Why should we tarry when Jesus is pleading, pleading for you and for me? Why should we linger and heed not His mercies, mercies for you and for me? Come home, come home, ye who are weary, come home, earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, oh sinner, come home. Oh, for that wonderful love He has promised, promised for you and for me. Though we have sinned, He has mercy and pardon, pardon for you and for me. Come home, come home, ye who are weary, come home, earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, oh sinner, come home, calling, oh sinner, come home.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and get more exciting videos to prepare you for the end times and the demonic tricks of the devil. Once you click the red bell icon and you subscribed, please click the bell icon behind to keep updated with our monthly videos. We appreciate your support.